isolation has you feeling blue. There's only one thing left to do. The patch is out, let's play Code 2. It's the CoHrona Cup.
Yeah, you do, Kimb0.
I am now live with my good buddy Ed. I'm watching PFC from South Korea playing as the aecohmatt. This map is Bacage, as we've already seen, and the Stern Pioneers are rocking it. Who do we find in the north, Ed?
Just a single letter man. Keeps it simple. It is P, aka PFC, which means something for cats. And he will be representing OKW, like you said, with either Overwatch Doctrine, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, or Breakthrough Doctrine. Hello. Could see the old Yag Tiger stuck in a bocage meme. But,
That'd be excellent. In the north of Bacage, of course, we do have Kimb0, who's locking in immediately with a raw regiment, the Royal Artillery, which of course is all about one thing. You're looking at it right in the middle of the commander. It's all about the Sexton. Everyone knows Sexton is OP. No, it is indeed all about the Valentine, Ed.
Quinton Valentino, call-in tank, add 5 CPs, Pumas, eat your heart out. Yep.
Yeah, indeed. The Valentine is going to be Kimb0's flavour of the month. It's also going to be Tommies upon Tommies upon Tommies. If you like infantry sections, we've got several of them for you already. 270 manpower, and they act like Vet 5 Obersoldaten after the patch. It's going to be awesome.
Stay away from that red cover, man. Oof. It's going to be rough against the sections who are now even better on the move after this patch. A lot of people have said, they've done the classic knee-jerk cry of Brits OP, Brits OP, but I do feel with their clunky snare, it's hard to get access to as Royal Engineers early game. I feel they're not unbeatable, Matt. They're just creating a different problem for people to solve. That's all.
Yeah, it is an interesting conundrum, and I'm sure the community will unlock it. I've just updated the scores. It is, of course, 0-0. It is the start of a fresh series. And
Brilliant.
the Tommy conundrum, it is a wide-open map for them. It might have been nice, of course, to go as Wehrmacht, keep them on lockdown, maybe snipe their faces off, but he has gone for OKW, which might make things a little bit more interesting, let's say.
Yeah, the old A-blob everything into the opponent's cut-off faction. That is OKW. Can really put the pressure on. But OKW against Brits has historically, I'd say, favoured Brits early on.
Definitely.
But
it used to be that Wehrmacht and Brits trade. What were you going to say about the Puma, though? Is that their saving grace?
Yeah, the OKW Puma can come at a similar time, just after the AEC, like 1 or 2 minutes after. So it really depends on what live vehicle game PFC goes for. I will call him PFC, just so you know. I can't.
Oh.
P just sounds a bit...
It is strange. Yeah, I should have had the rule where they have to actually use their names. I think that's always good in a tournament where players play as their name.
Yeah, but what the hell would Asian do? He's like, what was my original name?
Yeah, I joined everybody. PFC 02. I think he just trolls PFC at all times. They do have a lot of trolling in that Korean side of the community, you know. A lot of them go as, for example, Panzer Grenadier and Greifen.
Yeah, it's good.
Stuff
It's
like
good
that.
friendly banter.
I'm sure.
I secretly think Panzer Grenadier and Greifen is just like a massive demigod in their community, and
Possibly.
it's all just a homage to him, really. The greatest Axis player of Code 2 we've ever seen in order match.
And here we go. Kimb0 is going for 4 Tommies into UC, straight in with a Vickers mount. Often known as Bren carriers in pretty much every single conflict they were involved in. They are the most produced armoured fighting vehicle of all time.
Wow. Check you, Imperial AE. Nice fun facts there, but he's gone for the Vickers and not for the mini crocodile, which got an armor buff in this latest patch with the flamethrower upgrade. So interesting one there. Wants the suppression ability or long range snipes.
You see, pushing in, and let it begin as the Folks Grenadiers are now uncovered, cowering behind their tractor. They're going to feel the burn. Meanwhile, in the north, by the way, this Tommy squad 2-man has a terrible retreat path. He's overstayed his welcome. Kimb0 was focused elsewhere. Will PFC be able to get the squad wipe? Negative cover kicks in. One of the Tommies dies. The other about to die also.
Run, rabbit, run, run, run. Down he goes. Good old Tommy. Wow, that is Kimb0 getting Kimb0 mad blobbed on his retreat path.
Did indeed. He popularised the swing and hit kind of flank on a retreating squad in the last 2 years of play, and he's had that happen to them. Nice ambush tactics here by
Great pick up
PFC.
there from PFC, and that's all stems from Tractor Wars in the north, where he was fighting that squad for so long. Both squads very low HP. Creates an opportunity for the old flank and shank. Well picked up there from PFC. Kimb0, meanwhile, though, just rages straight on into the south to get that double fuel hype. And perhaps a very early AEC. I'm always a bit mindful of going AEC against OKW due to that Puma threat. And he has gone mechanized PFC. So I would almost stall for a Quinton Valentino if I was Brits, but you know, luckily I'm not Brits here. We have a pro playing in the name of Kimb0, so we'll see what he goes.
Tommies get fatalized there as the Foch Grenadiers try and get into position to attack them on retreat. Tell you what, he's making good use of medium cover there. He now advances to Kimb0's own green cover, negating it for both participants as the Vickers mounted universal carrier comes into the picture. Foch Grenadiers push themselves in further in, but do reposition and reclaim their own fuel. Meanwhile, on the north, Ed, what do we see?
We see, what's remaining of that flanking blob? The Sternpire is tanking Tommy's rifle bullets to the face. They're getting close, negate the green cover, push one off, and he's going to get it. He's going to get the double squad push off and take back, I don't know if it's his fuel or Kimb0's fuel. It's under a lot of contention at the moment. And there we go, great push there.
It was a good push. We've just had the fact that bolster has been utilised, so a lot of fuel spent there, and we've got mechanised up. So I'm sure PFC is looking very close to the Lukes. In fact, he has the 60 fuel already. So he might be going Puma first instead. Indeed, he is.
This screams Puma, yep, and this screams do not build AEC, like I was saying for Kimb0. I think he's going to stall for that Valentine, which does not require any tech, if I'm correct, which is another strong plus for Brits.
You are right.
You don't have to choose AEC or Bofors. You could just boom straight for that call-in tank. It's very strong.
2 command points remaining though for Kimb0, so he's going to be pressurized by the Puma, which does a deceptive amount of infantry damage, of course, with those machine guns being tweaked to now focus independently on any infantry target. A change that came in 2019, I want to say, early 2019 perhaps.
Never even noticed.
Did you not?
Well,
the power of the Puma now is
never live past.
Fair enough.
They're a kamikaze mission, but we'll see if the Puma can take out the UC, then at least it's done something while it waits for its next rival to enter the battlefield. But a great triple cap here, early game from PFC. I think Kimb0 is slightly regretting going Brits. I don't know if he's as well versed in Pats and them as he was Soviets, but we'll see. 15 Brit-bong infantry section shooting away on the front armor of a Puma.
Using that green cover though, the Puma's not been able to do anything until I speak. And there you go, that famous CC for you.
Yep. But it just feels a bit of a lame duck at the moment now, the Puma. He did go for it before seeing any live vehicle, which is a risk. But the shoe mine's been revealed on the VP for all those Mine Watch fans still out there.
Meanwhile, Foch Grenadiers have got a difficult predicament as both Tommy squads advance, but the Puma is going to find an angle on them. Nice grenade tossed, and but a better dodge by PFC.
A lot of fuel invested into these Tommies from Kimb0. Now he goes for the AT gun. Does have a 5-man sapper. Oh, doesn't go and sweep the mine. Instead, he goes for the fuel capture and lays his own mine. Okay.
There's the anti-tank gun. It's far from where it needs to be right now, as the Puma only has the 1 infantry kill, but it's just had enough presence so far just to keep the Tommies from advancing further. Saying that, though, we do have 1 that's managed to get to the fuel.
Yep, and another bit of utility for the Pumas. It can snipe green cover away.
He grenades the Puma!
And it gets the vet! Wow.
Nice.
Improvise. Nice. Good play there from Kimb0.
Meanwhile, we have PFC taking Kimb0's cut-off.
Yeah, and the UC getting the hell out of dodge. Doesn't want to take an MG on front on.
Seems like it is, actually. I don't know what that's about. Meanwhile, the Puma ignores the Tommies and is now going for the UC, a prioritised vehicle, which is a sure sign of it being a trap, surely. But no, the Stern Pioneers have uncovered the 6-pounder and the mine. Takes him out of control, and they jump over there.
Hollywood-esque. I love that
was
dive.
It was excellent. Meanwhile, Tommy's pushed away from the fuel point. The cutoff has been engaged against this fuel point for a long time now, as the Royal Engineers are trying to hold it.
See how far he got though with that dolphin dive. Cleared the
It was
hedge.
incredible.
Yeah, it's worth blowing up in your UC for that. But yeah, good snipe there. So basically, tick box done for the Puma, and PFC goes for Overwatch doctrine. Immediately calls in a Jaeger light infantry squad.
Grenade toss in the middle. First grenade is okay though.
Dodged. Yep.
But the G43s, as you were saying, Ed, this is one of the best things you can do against Brits, isn't it?
They're horrendous at sniping models, but they only snipe when you're stationary, so they need to be boarded up in green cover, blinking away at Tommy sections rushing him. Good opener here from PFC. This is anybody's game. Kimb0's desperately trying to get to 5 CP to call in the Valentine, it seems, or he could just skip everything and go for Cromwell, but he doesn't have the tech. It's going to be too much. Looks like we're going to see a Quentin Valentino, boys and girls.
First Grenadier didn't quite have enough to get an infiltration. Sorry, an incendiary grenade off on retreat. Not that it would have done that much. Meanwhile, Tommy's versus the First Grenadiers. MG forcing them away, allowing the 6-pounder to start capping, which is, of course, what he wants to be doing with an anti-tank gun at any one time. Ed, where's this one going to go from here? Is PFC starting to get into a really good position?
Yeah, PFC looks pretty strong. He doesn't have his Schwerpanzer upgrade there, and that's one of the things about AKW. Their teching is so expensive, and it's almost risky where you put your Schwer on a map like this. So I think Kimb0's comeback mechanics is going to have to be that Valentine, which has been called on. Rather splendid one at that.
The nice camo as well.
Oh,
made by Chocky Starfish of all people. Where's the mine? Was it in the north, was it? Or?
Community Stalwart, Chocky Starfish. I don't know where it actually went off. Yeah, it was on the west-hand side. Squad's retreating aplenty for PFC, but we've yet to see the Valentine go for the Puma. It's got a Shamoun reverse into action.
Got somebody asking in chat, what are the KO2 drinking game rules for tournaments? Well, any time a British caster mispronounces a German word, drink, and you won't have a very long lifetime, unfortunately. But you'll at least be drunk.
Every time Von Ivan loses a model.
Oh God!
for the pure Alkies.
Rakettenwerfer in a good position. Valentine penetrated twice. Puma could finish the job, but the 6-pounder's watching.
Yep.
Needs the first grenades to get into position to force the 6-pounder away. Puma could go in there here. Is PFC going to have the balls?
No guts, no glory. Let's Kimb0 snake away with his Valentino. But there are 2 Royal Engineers coming in. I love their accents as well, Matt. That's the saving grace about Brits, is the Welsh Royal Engineers.
The voice acting was fantastic for Brits. It's just some of the dodgy faction design that was the problem. Double man mortar stationary, anybody?
They spend all their time on the voiceovers, so you can't have everything. Good sniping here from the JLI. He gets baited out by a pump fake with the nade from Kimb0. Does eventually.
There's a guy with a very strange hat here on my screen. I just check my screen, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
He's wearing a sandbag wall for a hat. Very Elton John kind of thing.
Getting stuck in there.
He is indeed.
when you're head over heels about sandbags. Oh well. But what I do like about the JLI is $40 of munitions with them gets you a booby trap on a point, and that thing shreds your infantry section health. Which then double ups as a great tool for them to plink away with the G43 and snipe some models. Here we go, Puma finally. Mano a mano against Valentino.
Through the hedgerow in a macabre game of tennis right here. Valentine's going to try and find a good flank off on it. He's a little bit wary though, and he's has every right to be, thanks to the Rakettenwerfer.
Yeah, he's still keeping that VP bleeder going. Always got to be thinking of that in a 1v1 test. And it looks like a solid map, this.
It's
really
fantastic,
does.
yeah.
Fighting across all 3 fronts. Still skirmishes going on in the west, and
And
Kinda
basically, the
tuned out.
conversation between K-Pen and I, when I looked at this map and watched a few games on it, says, K-Pen, this map is great, but you've got to take your name out of it, otherwise nobody will take it seriously.
Oh.
So it was Bocage sur le Pen originally. That was not exactly what was said, but
But the one little thing that scares me is enough space in your base to move around.
yeah.
Definitely different to White Flash's oceans of space. But I think it's all good now. Like you won't get any trapped vehicles or units within your base, which was a nice fix we saw when Kimb0 was testing his map for K-Pen.
Yeah. Very good of him, of course, and now he's reaping the benefits of knowing the map prior to being in the tournament, as we have the early warning flares ignited and illuminating all of PFC's movements, and the movements are coming in because the Jaegers and Focus Grenadiers have flanked the Vickers. The 6-pounder recoils in terror as the Valentine watches over the cut-off, but the Puma's there also.
Bit of an Ivan-esque GG push maybe from PFC here. No. Gets donked on by the Ordnance QF 6-pounder anti-tank gun, if you want to call things properly by their real names. Lol. And thinks better of it. But good pitch here from PFC. I like this aggression. Oh, Tommy's might sniper folks on the right-hand side, playing chicken with his squad.
Every shot hits harmlessly against the soil, however. Meanwhile, on the north side,
Couldn't finish it.
Puma's watching the Tommies. Jaegers also. They have a surprise up their sleeve.
Got no nades for the retreat path, so this is just gonna have to be the Puma show. Ah, there is a STG totem folks on retreat.
A lot of health on that last soldier, though. He's going to survive,
Yeah,
it looks
he's-
like.
He's fine and dandy.
Meanwhile,
Good play here though from
MG34.
both players.
Yeah, it's a good game, isn't it?
Swapping like it could be a wipe either way every 5 seconds, it seems. A lot of sections they've given now. That's 4 sections. 2 Royal Engineers. 2 HE.
What a grenade toss. That is unreal.
Oh,
That's, there's no... It's a cricket throw or something.
goodbye. Klaus.
And then the stolen Rakettenwerfer, by the way. That's new, and the fact that he's got the 6-pounder annihilates the weapon as well. So Kimb0's starting to claw his way back into this
Yeah.
one well and truly.
Good MG wipe there. I wonder why he shot the hell out of it. He could have captured that, but oh well. Then he would go for the true Noah's Ark build of 222 on AT guns, MGs, and rear echelons. But oh, Royal Engineers.
I wonder if PFC's going to construct the Goliath. It does have the option to do so. Nothing from tier 4 quite yet, although he does have it constructed in a very defensive position, which is probably the wise thing to do.
Do you see my favourite pun? Schwer headquarters built now and teched up.
Yes, that's what I
Swear to God, it's a good idea to build one.
Oh!
Ooh.
I see, so you were pretending not to have heard me talk about it so you could get your pun in. I like that, Ed. I like that a lot. That's what I would do.
Sometimes you
Very
gotta
good.
like alley-oop,
Oh,
set yourself up. but
We've
here
had a
comes the
nice
foul.
Faustin, and the Puma takes the
Oh!
shot. He smokes to get out of there. The Rakettenwerfer and 6-pounder can't do anything. Quinton
Combo.
Valentino's out. He's a grenade on the folks, however. They lose 2 models. Meanwhile, STGs force away the Tommies that had just previously lobbed said grenade.
Yep, I think Kimb0's got a good option here though now. I don't fall into the trap of just spamming Quinton Valentino. No one likes 500 sequels anyway, just let it be. Enjoy the film for what it was, and go for Cromwells or something bigger now. Or potentially even
Vickers
Comets.
needs to set up here. They do have the Stenkums coming from the rear as well. Vickers is eating a horrendous amount of damage. There's a grenade tossed in for good measure.
Yeah,
Double
gotta
fuel for
incinerate
PFC.
that dead Tommy.
They will rise, much like that terrible TV series that ended horribly.
But all of the map near enough now. PFC's loving this game. P4 is the choice from him. Okay.
W, P4 in fact.
Nearly
See what
a
I did there, Ed?
90. Yeah. Oh, I may be blind to the truth, but I'm not blind to that.
Not deaf to the pun indeed, as the Puma
Yeah.
watches on as the guys in the middle find the mine. And don't even need to...
But this is a very late P4, but good read again from PFC. He's just killed the Valentine, and he knows, right, it's going to be a while till the next tank for Kimb0. So good mental note of the resources there.
The thing about the Panzer IV from the OKW though, it's pretty good in pretty much every stage of the battle, isn't it? It's something
Yeah.
that you can reliably pull on to the field. I mean, it won't exactly take a Comet or a Churchill on, but you know, it's not a bad vehicle.
It's almost like a flank insurer, isn't it? You can just keep it on your fuel or around there, whilst you save for heavier tanks to take
But
the
in
fuck
this
from the
case,
assault
it's in
on.
a fantastic predicament. Puma's about to pick up a kill, I'm sure of it. No, negative cover doesn't count for anything apparently, and the Puma is of course meant to be anti-vehicle, as something that truly is finds it. The Raketenwerfer that was stolen earlier on, grenade tossed by the Tommies, or the Jaegers
Aiding
rather.
themselves. Just
Yeah, it was friendly damage. Yeah.
By Kimbo's squad, but they do have the mobile heals. Note as well, medics haven't been made in this game, nor has the landing officer, who I think is a fantastic new addition to the Brits.
Oh,
Very
6-pounder
powerful
and
unit.
Raketenwerfer push
Yep.
away the Panzer IV. And I agree that the landing officer is an assault officer, is it now? Something like that. He's a
Yeah.
badass, isn't he?
He gets a gammon, he gets 4 Sten guns. It's basically like a
butcher.
smaller shock troop squad for Brits as ace.
Cool.
But hasn't been picked here. Kimbo went for the range, I guess, and the 4 section, so he's okay for infantry. He'll be
Here
alright.
we go. The Cromwell's coming out. It's not a bad time to get it, and of course you'll have both AT guns also. So it's 4 Tommies, a Vickers, a Royal Engineer. Well, 2 of them, in fact. One of them's a Minesweeper, and he's not going to be in a bad position all in all. I know PFC's had most of the game, but he has to hope he's now got the endurance and the stamina. You got to have stamina.
Yeah, and Kimbo's got the clock on his side, as it were, with PFC probably going into about 9-10 p.m. now, so it's going to get pretty late for
later than that.
PFC.
The tournament
Yeah.
started at 10. It's,
yeah.
yeah, it's 1 o'clock
We're
in the
talking
morning,
AM.
basically.
Yeah. Oh god. So yeah, Kimbo's got a bit of a, good old European Central Time on his side. But here comes the P4, mighty OKW variant.
Eat some
Still
big
gets
shots
double
now, and the
back,
Cromwell's going to try and finish it off, and it does, with a huge wombo combo from all angles. AT guns and Cromwell team up. Kimbo's right back in this game all of a sudden.
PFC, where were you going with that one? I think he even hit a mine as well, because that just insta-died, unless the Cromwell ate some serious spinach for breakfast.
I think it could have
double
been
damage.
the 6-pounder helping out through the bushes, perhaps.
Yeah,
Or may have
both
just been a
AT
mine, as you
guns-
say.
Both AT guns hit the Cromwell and someone else.
Folks looking low now, Ed. We've got Sten guns on the street and the Lee Enfields. Looks
This
like he'll be
is
fine,
where-
though.
This is where Kimbo really pushes into play. Look on the west-hand side, 2 squads coming in for the surround and pound. This could be curtains for a couple of squads for PFC here.
Could be, but he's just
Or
taking...
at least decapping of the whole map. No, Kimbo decides to pull back. Nice stun nade there from...
Oh, but the grenade finishes off the Stormtroopers who got the stun nade off. It was good play from PFC to get back in this, but he loses a squad due to Kimbo's possibly superior APM when it mattered. He does get the Vickers. He's
Bit of
pointing the right
unnecessary
angle,
greed there,
but he
and here comes
retreats
another
it.
squad.
He should have kept it where it was facing. It would have helped him so much there.
He's going to have to smoke maybe with his Puma just to help his retreating MG. No, he's got enough HP. But that's what I'm saying. Whilst the whole engagement is happening on the east-hand side, Kimbo had the presence of mind to bring those other squads in rather than just leaving them there AFK. So great.
We got
play
the
there from
Raketenwerfer
Kimbo.
taken out as well now. If
Yep.
he destroys that, he'll be isolated in a big
Cromwell
way.
did get a snare though, so it's not being able to fully, lay down the law with the surviving squads. Yeah.
Grenade in. Jaegers lose the model as the Raketenwerfer's destroyed. Focus Grenadiers can't save it, but they do push in and they're looking to try and get rid of that 6-pounder. They have an option now. They could go for the 6-pounder whilst the Cromwell's still being repaired. It will be back into battle though. PFC could make a move.
Five-man buffed repair speed for the bolstered squads. Really good. But another P4 is the choice for PFC. I just feel maybe this doctrine, as well as his P4 decisions, he's not going to get any kind of armor parity there. You would have thought maybe safer or Panther, but I think he just fears the anti-infantry. It must be the only reason why he's rebuilt P4s. Would have to feel for a
Raketenwerfer
Panther.
trades with a Puma. I know who wins that battle. Cromwell comes in to finish the job and instead picks off a Folks Grenadier. Meanwhile, on the west side, we've got PFC starting to push up there. He's certainly got the presence of mind. He's got parity in terms of actions. This is a battle that's going to wage for a long time to come.
Yeah, APM's going off the chart in this match. It's really good. Like we've had a nice progressive tier of game styles through the tournament. So your seeding must have been half all right, Matt.
Well, exactly. The seeding was thanks in part to the new concept, the Master League. If you want to check that on Patreon, it's also a seeding system based on the last 20 tournaments of activity. So please go and check it out. It is very MLG ready.
And the law of averages showing how close this game is. I do think PFC has made an interesting tactical decision with the P4. He has gone for the MG upgrade on it, so he's confident. He's confident this one will last long when you upgrade the MG on it.
Panzer IV poking around, victory point wise. Of course, the centre is currently vaguely controlled by PFC, and he does have a superior victory point count. So he's got time on his hands.
And a good triple cap from him now coming up. So yeah, brilliant bounce back ability from him. Vet 2 Puma versus a Vet 2 Rakeden. Well, both AT guns for Kimb0 Vet 2 now. Good pen from the Puma though. Oof.
Yeah,
One
not
of
too
them.
shabby. Kimbo's dominating the centre. He's also pushing down in the south with a Minesweeper Royal Engineer. Meanwhile, in the north, Tommy's advanced, but they advance over a river, and the Foot Grenadiers are waiting for them. But guess who else is there? The Cromwell.
Yeah, no snare inside, so it's going to act with impunity, wiping these models. And there's no
what a grenade!
nader than Kimb0.
The huge plume of blood and body parts flies into the sky as the Raketenwerfer and the anti-tank gun find the Panzer IV. But here comes the Puma. PFC's like a hornet's nest that's been kicked by a fat child.
Great stun round there from the Puma. Cromwell doesn't know what day or week it is.
Oh, great work with an MGD. Critical. Puma's finding him. He's getting the kills. He's going past the AT guns. PFC with the plays. Getting straight back into this battle. He wasn't ready for Kimb0 to take it. Victory from the clutches of defeat.
Yep, and eat my heart out. Now the P4's reigning supreme. So well played there from PFC. Kimb0 got a bit flustered with his AT guns there. Couldn't sit down on his shots and... Oh, and the Rakeden comes back in the hands of the OKW. So massive.
Both AT guns, in fact, and now the Tommies turn to die as the Panzer IV turns its watchful eye upon them, and that huge cannon looks to take them out. Puma watches on, and the Tommies are helpless. Here comes the Royal Engineers. They do have a snare. The Panzer IV's going ramp shot, and there's nothing to counter it.
Another Cromwell Linden build, but it's going to be too late. These are two very low Tommy squads, but if any if any squad in this game has a lot of HP, it's the sections. Oh, Kimb0 picks up a nade, a wipe even, with a nade in the middle. It's all kicking off here. He's even recruited Raketen. How the hell?
And the 6-pounder for now. And I tell you what, it might turn its
No
attention on the
bounce.
Puma. He does have smoke available. He's going to go in anyway. And also there's a Cromwell. So just as fast as this turned in PFC's favour, it could go against him very quickly indeed. He does not know about the danger that lurks in the fog of war. And here it is. It's the Cromwell.
Clean up on aisle 2. Clean up on aisle 2. see if he
It's
can hit
messy.
these new medium tanks. Basically,
Rear armour facing. Puma backs in for him. Panzer IV taken out. Puma's got a lot of work on his hands.
Patience from Zoe. Couple of A-moving machine guns waiting in the winds for PFC. He needs to get them in there to suppress these horde of infantry sections coming back to come and capture these AT guns.
God, it's like pass the parcel with these AT guns right now. They've changed hands many a time.
Kimb0 triple capping as well. Just because everybody's APMing out of their minds doesn't mean the time of VPs isn't ticking. Great play there. He got the MGs just in time. Back goes all the bit bongs. What a slugfest of a fight that was.
That
Still
was
going
awesome.
on.
It is indeed. He takes a Raketenwerfer. That's a risky steal. Will he get it away? Puma plinks away harmlessly, even with Veteran C3. He pops smoke. Oh, and the Raketenwerfer's taken out, but it's in the safety of Axis territory. Cromwell now pushes in as the MG is forced away. We've also got the Foot Grenadier low on health. Cromwell is going to go in, Ed. Surely.
But one little thing, side plot. Puma is now Vet 3. He gets extra damage, so he could be twice as much lethal against this Cromwell. I think Kimb0 needs a big sturdy tank to bring in. He has gone for the Comet, so he's gone for Hammer. Okay.
Hammer.
I think they both got to be thinking, right, what's next? Basically, PFC has no care about the future, and he's just going for something right now. He's going for another P4, whereas Kimb0's got the luxury of time to choose with a triple cap. I think he's got a stall for aecohmatt here.
He's got to go for it. He's got a reasonable amount of way to go in terms of fuel, but he currently has double fuel, so that Comet will be here as quick as a Comet, quite frankly, and with it, we might see the extinction event for PFC.
But crucially, Kimb0 wiped the Stern Pioneers within all that melee, so there's very slow fixie-fixies for PFC. He has to keep driving back to base for the auto repairs. That's another big factor as well on his armor preservation or map presence.
This could be a greatest of all time Puma if somehow PFC wins this game, because he's going to require that Puma to be microed out of its skin. And Ivan, by the way, is just watching this and wrapping his fingers against his desk and in delight, because he's going to be fresh to the battle in the quarterfinals later today against the victor of this series. And yeah, it's a long, hard slog there at the bottom.
What I've just got a question though. PFC's choice never to go for a Panther. He would have had the parity over Cromwell's.
Puma's going in, Ed, possibly. No, he's thinking about it, just getting a nice juicy shot in. Meanwhile, MG34 hitting everybody.
It sees 2 Royal Engineers laying a mine, and the Puma's like, nope. Does
right
not
decision.
pursue that flank. But good pin here of 3 sections. Kimb0 is mad blobbing with his infantry sections too much. He needs to fan out and, get him working. They're strong enough in isolation. You don't have to. I know it's a bit of a meme at the moment in this patch, but yeah, it's just in terms of map control, it's not helping him. But he is.
We're getting very close to the Comet now, and he's certainly getting there. We're having to see the Stern Pioneers rebuilt, and it's going to leave him really vulnerable when this Comet's out. He's going to probably have to retreat the entire map because it would dominate him otherwise.
Yeah. You also got to think for next game or future games as
Oakstrandia gets the Faust off, but it may be his last action. The Cromwell was tracking him for a moment.
Yeah. I was just thinking strategically for future games down the line when they end this slugfest and have to think on the next matches. What was the point in going this commander?
Oh my god, the Puma just escaped a shot from max range. Might actually hit another one. What an attack ground by Kimb0. He's within a whisker, but here comes the fresh Panzer IV. Hits a mine, may take out the Cromwell. You've also got the 6-pounder facing. It's a tank for a tank, but one of them's more expensive than the other.
Low HP though on the AT gun. 2 shots for the P4. He could decrew this in time. And start just the recycling.
The traversal, but oh my god. The Vickers stolen. However, recrewed from the Tommies. Panzer IV now needs to go forward. Vickers scoped, if you remember that book.
Teddy McFluff's favourite weapon. Human beware. But this is great play here from PFC. It's just extracting the most out of the P4, but the big bad Comet's in the building.
Oh no. Feels like Final Fantasy VII Disc 3 with that Comet in the skyline. Because the pending doom is a-coming for PFC. He needs to get his tank back to base. He needs to get the Stern Pioneers out alive. He needs to repair. He needs to do so much to prepare. Because if he doesn't, he is stuffed.
It's impossible to say now who has the advantage in this. PFC's proven me wrong with his P4 plays. He's made them absolutely work from 1 HP AT gun crew sniping away at max range.
Hitting as well.
Gets that pen, but it's 1 shot away. Comet's nowhere in sight yet. But a Ved 4 Puma, oof, that's going to be deadly. I think that set up the play with the Comet snipe. But I do feel Kimb0's gone for the wrong doctrine here. No Crocodile against OKW. Doesn't provide many options. It just feels a bit of a lame duck. I know Quentin Valentino's fun and all, and it's a call-in, but didn't really get much done, especially with Puma first, mechanized OKW. So that's one to know for future games. Fixie's back on the field though, so P4's getting some lovin'. High veterancy Volksgrenadiers for PFC. Needs to get back and cap that west side.
Comet's coming down the south side in the meantime, but crucially the Stern Pioneers were able to repair the Panzer IV in this 34th minute of play. The victory points are roughly equal. However, Kimb0 did have a triple cap very recently, which means PFC rather, is ticking away very quickly indeed. In a bigly fashion.
Fantastic back and forth in this game, though. It's the best one I've seen today so far, man. Long shot. Comet opens up, blows away half of that French walling.
Smokes
Very
his
angry.
way out of there as the Tommies could not construct their trench.
Look at
Crucially,
that. Look at those abilities. Sorry to interrupt that. Look at the abilities of the Comet, though. Oof.
oh my
Like
god.
a conscript of tanks, you know?
Yeah. It's more like an Argos catalogue of whatever you could want, you know.
Oh,
He's
my
got his-
Cromwell's low. Don't worry, the Comet can merge. Full HP Cromwell.
Wouldn't it be funny if tanks in this game had artillery mode? Could you imagine? Or if they threw grenades? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
oh wait.
I'd
We
much
live in
rather
that
give them a
reality.
speed boost than a phosphorus.
Oh,
round.
what a shot by the Comet. That was like a meteor.
Here we go, clumped up retreat squad. Oh, gets lucky. Puma, though, plinking away. Nearly Vet 5. Fuse and Chad are in for a treat when this thing turns Vet 5. It's basically like an auto cannon.
Oh yeah, the Comet, by the way, is currently invincible. It's backed up by 2 6-pounders. It's a great anti-infantry vehicle, and PFC needs more than what he has right now to counter this situation. I wonder what he's thinking.
He's probably thinking, why the hell did I go this auction? I've made one JLI and not made any booby traps. So both players, I think the game is as tense and close as it is because there's no real big dominant unit like a Command Panther or K-Pen Tiger, thank God, or Crocodile. So they're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way with no big call-in heavies. And doing it with doctrinal units, which is nice.
We're going to
Not
put
doctrinally.
Fog of War on for PFC and just see what he sees and try. We'll actually go on follow camera mode for a little bit and just see how fast his micro is as he predicts his next flanks. He sees his
gotta get,
Panzer IV in peril.
Motion sickness with that
Oh, we would do indeed. And the Comet's found
Vet
the now Vet 5
Puma.
Puma. Misses
Run
from
away,
the
look
Comet.
out.
That was a very lucky miss. Panzer IV's got his rear facing. That's bad. Puma's now in all kinds of trouble.
P4 goes down, stun round bounced with the Comet, did not pen, so did not do anything on the target weak point. Aimed shot. That is unfortunate for PFC. Loses the P4. Maybe he'll build a Panther, and he does, man.
There you
We're
go. He's
getting
going
a
to need
Panther
one.
versus Comet gameplay. Nice.
Will he have the victory points, though? He's only got one in the north right now. He's currently protecting it with an MG. We just had infantry down, Ed. Have we got eyes on what died?
Yeah, unvetted, folks. Meh.
Oh, meh. Never mind.
I'm more watching this stalking Puma trying to take prowl on his prey.
Oh, is he going to go all the way
Comet.
round? He could do. He sees the shot. He gets it. The Comet misses, however. He's now
Oh,
down to
that
60%
walling.
health.
Both oil engineers are back. I don't know if PFC saw that in his Fog of War, but there's no snares. But double AT gun now comes to back up the Comet. Comet gets away. Nearly Vet 1. Good play here for PFC, though.
On north side, sandbags can't stop the suppression. Well, they do stop the suppression, and the MG cannot stop the cap, is what I meant to say. The Panther, now a very true heavy tank. Very, very sexy looking.
Wasn't it a medium?
No, the Germans are like, do you like our medium? It's only 100 tons of Krupp style. I think it was like 58 tons, somewhere around there, and it's just a big old tank.
One of my favorite tanks in the game. Its moving accuracy is somewhat questionable, as as just shown there, perfectly on cue. But a nice squishy will do. Nope, doesn't get the crush. Kimb0 very quick on the trigger there. Retreating units avoids being run over. Another glorious mechanic, which helps with gameplay. So you lose a bit of your what's that word? Immersion, but still keeps the game alive. And yeah, some nice mine laying from Kimb0. I'm still on the mine watch. He's got some down on the south side. But PFC's taken his claim on the north of the map. The new king of the north is here.
He's also having to very crucially cap victory points. He's got 82 remaining. Kimb0 has 158, which isn't a huge difference. But it's getting tense out there.
Yeah, we're rarely seeing triple caps now in the last few minutes, so they're keeping it under control. It's in the back of their minds. Another JLI brought on. Not upgraded yet, but good choice there for late game from PFC. Got to replace those Volksgrenadier he lost.
JLI is very far north as well, just looking to poke a hole in the defences of Kimb0. Meanwhile, the Comet's causing all kinds of problems for the MG in the south. The Puma tags in with the hot tag, looking for some action. Here comes the Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers in the centre, trying to untrench Kimb0. Hits a mine instead. Panther's pushing in, finds the side armour, if it existed, of the Comet, but the 6-pounders have its
Yeah, two
defended.
AT guns are going to say a big strong nope to that Puma. Panther, though, this is good. He's taking the hits with the Panther. And
oh my god, one Comet's about to go down. Puma's pushing in, he's trying to tank the damage. Panther could get the final shot in, but there's a new Comet, Ed. There's a new Comet.
Oh, Panther taking more hits than Google. Needs to get the hell out of dodge. Aim shot is still available, but can't be used from the Puma out of range. Panther goes swirling.
Oh, and he's thrown in the towel.
GG. Well,
Isolation has you feeling blue. There's only one thing left to do. The patch is out, let's play Code 2. It's the CoHrona Cup.
What a great game that was. First GG of the day, well and truly. It was back and forth. It was all over the bloody place.
I'm sweating and I wasn't even playing, but a brilliant game there. I think, yeah, Kimb0's decisions with the Comets was duly rewarded there. I feel PFC was a bit late with a Panther. Could have been before his second P4 at least, but amazing game from both of them. Take nothing away from it. That was hella close. It was on a dime. You just felt like the extra AT gun presence was there for Kimb0, which gave him that insurance. And that Panther just got melted. I mean, front armor just got laughed off by that AT presence from Kimb0's UK Air Forces. So we see Brits win again, Matt.
Yes, they do
for me,
indeed. Well, the first game of the day with Brits in, they did win for us at least. Infantry section, however, didn't have all 4 places on the title card of the personal screen on the match stats because the 6-pounder was able to get the most damage. Elsewhere, KD-wise, it was pretty fair and even, but Kimb0 eked ahead there. On the graphs, you can see, obviously, the 1929 kind of market crash there from P at the end, which meant that, of course, he had to GG. In terms of points held, you can see what a game it was. It was all over the place. They traded positions a lot, and it was just a fantastic all-round battle.
Yeah, it was almost both 1v1 players picked 2v2 commanders in that game. and it was like, okay, we're not seeing anything really utilized of either commander other than a JLI and a Valentino, but it was still the supreme play with non-doctoral units. We saw the utilization of a Puma there, getting to Vet 5, and it never died. So, that could be used again next game, hopefully. But I think there's some solid play there from both PFC and Kimb0. It's hard to judge, like in game 2, who's really going to take that. It's going to be Kimb0 on Axis, probably Wehrmacht and not OKW, which he's been really ramping up the Wehrmacht games recently. So
certainly.
that'll be interesting to see. I can't wait for game 2. But brilliant game.